Welcome to Mendocino County. Magic is real. We're taking you off the beaten path horseback riding, and there's no horsing around. Ricochet Ridge Ranch, located on the beautiful coast of Fort Bragg. Not only can you ride horses, but you can saddle up and ride horses through the ancient redwoods and the glorious sandy beaches. I wanted to learn more, so I spoke with Jake Langevin, owner and operator of Ricochet Ridge Ranch. Where is Ricochet Ridge Ranch located?
Directly on the iconic California one, directly outside of Fort Bragg, California, about 3.5 hours north of San Francisco, and a stone's throw from the ocean.
It's absolutely glorious. How did you become the owner of Ricochet Ridge Ranch? What interests you so much about it?
My family, we owned a boarding stable in Minnesota, and my mother believed that her purpose in life was to get back to Northern California. She went to college at Berkeley, and she was stumbled upon it on the internet one day and saw it was for sale back in 2015. And we reached out to the previous owner, who was also a Berkeley alum, and that started a conversation of two women of roughly the same age who had roughly the same passion for horses, and we just couldn't pass up the concept of taking people out for trail rides on the beach and up in the redwoods, and came out and visited and took all of about 3 minutes before we decided that was something we wanted to pursue, taking over and continuing the legacy, because Ricochet Ridge Ranch has been around since the 90s, providing trail rides to people, of all riding abilities and all ages for a long time. We took it over on January 1st of 2016, and I've been the proud owner since.
So here you are 7, 8 years later, and tell me, what have you learned from this experience and what do you embrace about it the best?
Embrace the life-changing opportunities we have in our everyday. The ironic part is that for us, it's just a Wednesday, but for the people that are arriving to our place for just a 1-hour beach ride, it's a memory they're going to have forever. Mm-hmm. And that's something that doesn't get lost on me and my staff. We actually just spoke about it yesterday. Being able to be a part of something that people hold on to, being a part of a legacy. We have many riders that come to us and say, I was brought here as a kid, and now I'm bringing my kids. We have people, I've had several personally successful proposals. We've had many more too on our rides. And we really are able to be a part of the fabric of people's, memories. And that's something that is just amazing, being it's just something we love doing all the time.
For me, when I was on the ride, one of the first things I thought of as soon as we headed out of the beautiful, glorious redwoods and onto the beach is I thought, why does anybody need therapy when you can jump on a horse and take a ride through the redwoods and ride along the beach? This is just heaven on earth.
It is. It is something that actually, in addition to it being, a bit of a tagline of the idea of therapy, it is no surprise that equine therapy is a real thing looked at. There is something special that happens with humans and horses. There's been actual legitimate documented benefits that come from even people without special needs, their interactions. Blood pressures lowers, heart rates mimic. It really is something that you don't have to just be a horse crazy person to have that special floaty feeling. You can be just someone who wants a unique afternoon and really come away from it seeing the world a little differently.
That's a really well said statement there, because I felt as if I just escaped the earth, escaped the busyness of the world for, that 1 hour that we were out there. So perhaps you can walk us through this. We slide into the saddle, and there is a person who goes along with you who can explain what we're seeing.
Yeah. And so all of our rides are guided, which is both for our benefit and for yours. And so the people that we are able to hire are lifelong horse people, and they are in love with the horses as much as they are in love with showing off what they can do on the horses. And so, with a little bit of instruction, we get you in the saddle, giving you enough to where even if you've never touched a horse before, giving you enough opportunity to be successful and be safe on the horse. We cross over Highway 1 and we enter into McCarricker State Park, which is one of the many California state parks that we are just so lucky that we have a concession agreement, are able to use that land. And we ride through the camping ground area, and we explode out onto the vista of the ocean. And I'll tell you that on our first ride, my wife and I, when we arrived up in Fort Bragg and took our first ride, that moment when you opened up, the trees opened up and you got to see the ocean for the first time, the guide said, "Oh, look, a whale." And a whale spouted. And that's when I turned to my wife and said, "Sold." But once you reach that spot and you're able to get down closer, we ride along an iconic piece of California history, which is what's called the Hall Road. Mendocino and Fort Bragg especially were really, really crucial to the creation of the West Coast with the logging industry that happened. Mm-hmm. And the rivers that come out of the coastal mountains and end at the ocean there, right where we come out, was a very big pier that was built even further out because of the rocky shore. And that Hall Road was a primary supply line up and down the coast for people throughout Fort Bragg and Mendocino's history. And so being able to be out there, be a part of it, we tell the stories of that. We talk about the local flora and fauna, and as well as talk about horse and horse psychology and how you can, get the best idea of what they're thinking through their ears, and little tidbits as much as the guests really want. And some of them just want to sit in stunned silence and be reminded that they need to not have both hands on their phone, and they need to be on the reins.
I like that. I do. And I did experience that myself. I didn't get to see a whale, but as soon as we came out of the redwoods, it just opened up to blue sky and the sound of crashing waves. And then otherwise, just the silence. I really enjoyed the silence. Yes. And you're able to enjoy the beauty a lot more too. So for anybody jumping or sliding into that saddle, how long is the ride?
And we have several. The primary ride is a 1 hour ride, but we also have 2 hour coastal rides, and we have a 3 hour redwood ride available.
Oh boy, that's exciting! And tell us about the horses. How old are the horses?
Well, we're very lucky to have inherited and adopted some incredible horses. We have a bit of a smattering. Some places prefer one type of horse that are good, quote unquote, trail horses. We have some holdovers from the previous owner who loved endurance riding, Arabians and Orlovs, but we're not prejudiced. We're not biased. We'll take anybody that has the right mentality. But our goal is to find horses that are steadfast, have been there, tried and true, that have done a job that's not going to surprise them on a day-to-day basis. We need a variety of sizes. We've got, tiny, smaller ponies. We've got large, stout draft crosses to carry people. We try to keep in a mix of them, but maturity is the primary trait we look for in horses. Maturity, both mentally and sometimes physically.
So, Jake, if I'm coming to Mendocino, if I'm coming to Fort Bragg, and I think, oh, I would like to go out on a horseback ride, how do I prepare for that?
Sure. The best thing, especially during the busy tourist season that we have here, is thinking ahead a little bit. So all of our rides are by reservation, either through our website or via phone. We can do that, but it's very easy to sign up. You just are going to need the number of people in your group, the ages, heights, and weights of everybody in your group, and some contact information. And if you want to book it through the website, it's super easy. It shows you what's available and what's not. Or if you want to call us on the phone, we're pretty easy to get a hold of.
And what is that website?
It is horse-vacation.com. But if you Google Ricochet Ridge Ranch, you'll find us. And the reason why our website is not Ricochet Ridge Ranch is the owner, in all of her brilliance, years and years before search engine optimization was a thing, realized that the word ricochet is difficult to spell. So she commandeered horse-vacation.com out of, just sheer luck. And we managed to get a very easy and very broad spanning website.
That sounds fantastic. And by the way, we will be putting up that information on a graphic for people to see as well. So that's fantastic. Is there anything that you like to leave anybody with? Any kind of knowledge about your ranch?
That we've been serving, the community for a long time before us, and we want to continue to serve for a long time going forward. And really, it doesn't, from a first time rider to a lifelong equestrian, we really hope that we can, meet your needs. And it's an out of this world place. It's an out of this world experience. And we want to keep it available to people for a long time.
One more thing. Is there one season that's better than the other?
Well, the California best kept secret, that's not a very best kept secret, is that September and October are the nicest months. They are, in fact, more often than not, July 4th is celebrated with colored fog in Fort Bragg.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on where you're from, if you're from the Bay Area, I would suggest maybe a little bit more warmth in the fall or in the late summer. But if you're from the Sacramento area or somewhere up in the valley, we're going to be better than the heat at any point in the year. And so, really, we ride rain or shine. So even if you've got free time in February, we're out there ready to, greet you when you want to come.
That's fantastic. I love that breakdown as well, because I have a tendency of running hot myself, and I went for a ride in April and it was glorious. It was beautiful. All I wore was like a long sleeve shirt, a little vest, and I was happy.
That's right. We always tell people to dress for the weather, but then we have to remember who we're talking to. I, a lifelong Midwesterner, really can't calculate what it means to be on the coast in the middle of August, because I'm expecting something horrendous and hot and muggy. But when I realized I moved out there, I was cold for 4 years straight.
Yep, you can have that chill, can't you? Was there anything you'd like to leave our listeners and viewers with?
Just come ride with us.
It's sure hard riding a horse on a beach, but coming up next, I traded my saddle and slip into a seatbelt.
Discover the laid-back playground of Mendocino County, where life moves at a slightly different pace, where family comes together amidst small-town charm, where wild adventures await for those willing to get a little wet, and where new acquaintances become old friends in an afternoon. Mendocino. Magic is real.
Welcome to Cow Mountain right here in Mendocino County. It's over 24,000 acres where you could come and walk or hike or certainly bike. Like my good buddies here, Daniel and Brennan. Let's do it, guys. Off-highway vehicles, from ATVs to dirt bikes and everything in between. Ukiah is the place for off-highway fun. I met up with Don Amador about this popular sport, which takes place in this beautiful location, Cow Mountain. So Don, we're out here at Cow Mountain, over 24,000 acres, and there's a lot of fun to be had. Tell me about it.
Well, you're at one of the e-ticket ride areas for OHV in Northern California. I'm really glad you got to come out and experience what we have up here, and always enjoy seeing people coming out with their families and having a good time.
This is a growing sport.
Yes, it's growing leaps and bounds, and you can see side-by-side particularly very popular in California and the rest of the West, very popular.
So people come out here with their own vehicles?
Yeah, they tow them up here with their families, load up picnic basket, go out and explore around, have a great time.
Do you need to make a reservation or anything like that?
No, it's open. Just check to see that it's open. There's not closed for some reason, fires or winter weather, but it's usually open year-round. Come on up and have a good time.
Tell me about the trails out here.
Trails are, some of them are easy, some of them are real hard. Some of the trails up here there is no more trail difficult than what's up here in some of these areas. So if you want a challenge, you can have it.
So what does OHV stand for?
So OHV is off-highway vehicles. It's anything that goes off-road in California. So whether you've got a car or motorcycle, the minute you go off the pavement on dirt, you're off-road. So basically everyone in California is an off-roader, and we've got places for them to come and have some fun.
So if people have an OHV vehicle, they know the rules. They know they have to have a particular license.
Yeah, sure. There's just a couple simple rules to come up here. You need registration, you need a quiet muffler, and then go out and have a good time.
Oh boy, it is a good time too. And how can we find out how to get here?
So the best way to go is to the California State Park website for their off-highway vehicle program. Just type in California OHV. They've got a link to all the areas that you can ride in California, from up close to Oregon all the way down to the Imperial Sand Dunes. So a lot of places to explore and have fun.
Yeah, a lot of things to explore out here. You see some beauty, some nature, some animals, wildlife, a couple planes that fly overhead, but you can see them because the sky's so blue here.
Yeah.
What got you involved in OHV?
So I grew up in Northern California, and riding off-road was part of the culture. It started when I was 4 or 5 years old on a little scooter, and been riding ever since. Love it.
And if you don't have an OHV vehicle, motorcycles.
Yes, motorcycles.
You could bring them out here.
Motorcycles, side-by-sides, four-wheel drives like Jeeps. Great place to bring them and have a lot of fun.
And we were out here following a couple of motorcyclists out here, and they were just telling me this is just the best place in Mendocino County to come and ride your bike.
Absolutely. Mendocino is a great place to come, and everybody should come up here and enjoy it.
Okay, exactly Cow Mountain. How far are we from any closest city like Ukiah?
So Ukiah, we're only about 8 miles away. Got a lot of hotels, great places to eat. Stay overnight, have a good time, and your family will love you for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And one more time, what is that website for us to go to for more information on how to get here?
Okay, just type in California OHV. It'll take you to the State Park website, and they link all of them that we have here in California.
Well, shall we go for another e-ticket?
There we go. Let's do
go.
it. Okay, let's do it.
In the heart of Mendocino, the seasons unfold, painting the landscape in vibrant hues of green and gold. As summer awakens, Lake Mendocino mirrors the blue skies above. Here, ancient oaks skirt the water's edge, and wildlife dances across the water. This is a place where peace finds you, and the soft lapping of the lake's pulse sings a song of summertime. Mendocino, magic is real.
We have enjoyed the wonders of Mendocino County. In fact, it's been so fun the past couple of days. First stop, Fort Bragg. We took you to Ricochet Ranch, where we rode horses through the redwoods. I had Danny, the horse. And then we ended up in Cleone on the beach. Have you ever been on a horse on the beach before? Oh my goodness, it's so tranquil. It's so peaceful. And then we headed to Ukiah, and we ended up right here, South Cow Mountain, where we joined OHV riders and motorcyclists, and boy, do they take us for a ride of our lives. I hope to see you next time around right here in Mendocino County, where magic is real. Take care of one another. See you next time.